In 1661, a French finance minister named Nicolas Fouquet threw the most extravagant party Europe had ever seen. 17,000 guests. Fireworks designed by artists who would later build Versailles. A feast so opulent that 22-year-old King Louis XIV sat there in silence, realizing his own minister appeared wealthier than he was. 3 weeks later, Fouquet was arrested by the king's musketeers. He spent the next 19 years in a fortress prison. A century later, across the Atlantic, Robert Morris, the financier who personally funded the American Revolution, died broke in a boarding house. These weren't fools. They weren't reckless gamblers. They were brilliant. What they didn't understand was this: there are invisible thresholds in wealth building, and when you cross each one, the rules of the game change completely. Most people never realize those thresholds exist, which is why they stay stuck. My name is Tom. I spend an unhealthy amount of time thinking about wealth psychology and compound math. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 financial milestones that separate people who build lasting wealth from people who spin their wheels forever. But first, Renaissance Florence. In 1434, the Medici family were not royalty. They were middle-class bankers, but Cosimo de' Medici noticed something strange. Below a certain level of capital, money behaves defensively. You protect it. You fear losing it. One bad year could destroy you, but above a certain level, money behaves differently. You can survive mistakes, you can wait, you can say no. Cosimo realized wealth has thresholds. Cross them and strategy changes. He described 3 lines: the breathing line, the multiplication line, the immortality line. Those same thresholds still exist today. The numbers are different. The physics are identical. Threshold 1, $100,000 invested. Not net worth including your house, not your car. $100,000 in investable assets. Here's why. Below $100,000, compound interest is technically working, but emotionally invisible. $10,000 at 8% earns $800 a year. You don't feel that. $50,000 earns $4,000. Better, but fragile. At $100,000, now it earns $8,000 a year, about $666 a month. Now you feel it. More importantly, your investment gains start becoming a meaningful fraction of your salary. If you earn $70,000 and your portfolio adds $8,000, that's 11% of your income coming from capital. That changes your psychology. You don't quit your job, but the handcuffs loosen. You negotiate differently. You tolerate less nonsense. You think longer term. The brutal truth: getting from $0 to $100,000 is the hardest phase. It can take 7 to 10 years of consistent investing. It feels pointless. Your contributions do most of the work. Growth feels small. This is the puddle phase. Most people quit here, but once you hit $100,000, the snowball starts helping you push. Getting from $100,000 to $200,000 is faster than from $0 to $100,000. Acceleration begins. Survive the puddle phase. That's the first threshold. Threshold 2, $500,000 invested. This is where security becomes real. At $500,000, using a conservative 4% rule, you can generate $20,000 a year indefinitely. That's not luxury, but it's survival income. And survival income changes everything, because now you have walkaway power. You lose your job. It's stressful, not catastrophic. You can retrain. Take 6 months off. Refuse toxic environments. Most people stay in bad jobs because they have no buffer. Employers know that. At $500,000, you have leverage. And mathematically, at 8%, $500,000 generates $40,000 per year. Your money is now working harder than most side hustles ever will. Here's the trap. In 2008, many people hit this milestone, then panicked when markets dropped. They sold. They locked in losses. Why? They had the money, but not the mindset. At this level, you must internalize volatility. Otherwise, you sabotage yourself exactly when patience matters most. Security is as psychological as it is mathematical. Threshold 3, $2.5 million invested. This is the inversion point. At $2.5 million earning a conservative 6%, you generate $150,000 per year. For most people, that exceeds their working salary. Now the equation flips. Below this point, your time is more valuable than your capital. Above it, your capital is more productive than your time. Working purely for income becomes inefficient. This is why wealthy people behave differently. They focus on ownership. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Salary alone rarely gets you from $500,000 to $2.5 million. Ownership does. Equity, businesses, real estate, investments that scale. Standard retirement advice, can save 15% and retire at 65, is designed to get you secure, not wealthy. There's nothing wrong with security, but inversion requires ownership. Why nobody tells you. This banks profit from your debt. Employers profit from your desperation. Financial media profits from your confusion. If you never reach $100,000, you remain a consumer. If you never reach $500,000, you remain dependent. If you never reach $2.5 million, You never become independent of labor entirely. So the system keeps you focused on income instead of net worth. Income flows through you. Net worth stays with you. What you do now. Step 1. Calculate your investable assets. Not your house, not your car. Liquid, growing assets. Write the number down. If you're below $100,000, your mission is singular. Get there. Cut ruthlessly. Automate investing. Increase income. Ignore complexity. If you're between $100,000 and $500,000, protect, diversify, build emergency reserve. Strengthen your walkaway power. If you're between $500,000 and $2.5 million, start thinking ownership, equity, scalable upside. If you're above $2.5 million, protect the fortress. Don't get reckless. Most fortunes are lost here through overconfidence. Remember Fouquet. He confused financial wealth with total power. He forgot other forces exist. He died in prison. Remember Robert Morris. He crossed the inversion point, then leveraged too aggressively. He died broke. Wealth isn't just accumulation. It's understanding which rules apply at which level. The strategy that gets you to $100,000 won't get you to $500,000. The mindset that works at $500,000 will sabotage you at $2.5 million. These aren't numbers, they're phase transitions. And now you can see them. The years will pass either way. The only question is whether you cross the thresholds intentionally or drift forever below them, wondering why the math never works. So tell me, which milestone are you working toward right now?